Hey YouTube, this is Farm Scatter. Today I decided I'm going to make a video ranking different animated characters' butts. Alright, so I just chose some of like the most popular among like the butt lover community. Alright, so the order actually ended up being determined by alphabetical, like the file name. It was originally going to be ordered from like the character when the character was first created, like year by year. This is the order they ended up in. It's whatever. Let's just get into it. Our categories. So just ignore the D. You have to have at least 5, and that doesn't really work for this. So just ignore that. So what we got? We have flat. So self-explanatory. Meh. You know, it's okay. Thick. And then we got the dummy thick characters. So first off, we have Donkey. And as you can tell, some of the characters, it's actually, I'm not ranking their butt in general. Some of these characters, it's only in a specific scene. Because for example, with Donkey, in the Shrek movies, he doesn't even have cheeks like this. They specifically gave him butt cheeks, like for this one commercial. So there's a few characters like that. Here we go, the ass of the ass. Starting off, I am going to put him in the thick category. I mean, look at that, it's pretty nice. Next up, we have Boog from that airplane scene. Once again, in Boog's case, he usually doesn't even have cheeks like this. It's just in this one scene that they did this, and it's pretty nice. I would honestly consider having him be the first one in the dummy thick category, honestly. In fact, you know what? Let's do it. I think he's deserving. We have Bowser. Now, we have our first flat. Incredibly disappointing. Bowser is one of a few characters for me who overall I find him very hot, but he is lacking in this one department. It's very unfortunate. Alright, anyways, we got Chuck from the Angry Birds movie, and he's pretty nice. I'm gonna have to put him in thick, honestly, barely. He's leaning towards meh, but alright. And then we got Ellie from Ice Age. Now, I'm gonna put her in meh. She's actually flat. You can clearly see she doesn't even have like a defined crack or anything. The only reason she's got this is because if mammoths are the biggest mammal, and she's got a bigger butt than, what is his name, Manny? Then theoretically, she has the biggest butt of any creature ever in the entire world in the movie's canon. And that alone is pretty cool. So that earns her the meh. And then we've got Elliot. And oh yeah, from this one scene, the spank. This is one of my absolute favorites. Absolutely gorgeous. The cheeks are beautiful. They're perfectly sized. The butt as a whole is perfectly proportioned to the rest of his body. Honestly, it's just perfect. However, is it really that thick? Not quite. So he gets thick, but not dummy thick. Better than Donkey. So I'll put him here. Alright, next up we have the one and only Gloria. Now I know she is basically the favorite of the whole like butt community. I know she is the number one. However, she's not in the dummy thick. She is thick. She's in here. However, I'll explain why she's not dummy thick. It's because even though she's got a big butt, it's in proportion to the rest of her body. She's big as a whole. So her butt doesn't exactly stand out as much, and for that reason she's just thick. Alright, next up we have the geese from Rio. La, 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 la. Now, of course, this is a little like 3-second scene, but it's very nice. That's pretty much all I got to say. They're pretty dang thick. Not dummy thick, but thick. Chuck. I don't know. This is debatable. Because in proportion to the rest of their body, I think they're thicker. Okay. Next up, we have Hammy from Over the Hedge. We don't see much of his butt, but it is very big. And as you can see, he does have like a defined crack there, you know. Like it actually does, it is concave. And it's big in proportion to the rest of him. And for that reason, I think I would consider him thick. Not that thick, probably like there. Then we got Mama Hippo. I'm honestly not a fan. I think, okay, now typically, I usually think butts are good looking, but hers is just not that round. It's kind of like rectangular and it's not that big. It's kind of small actually in comparison to the rest of her. I just really don't think it's that good, but it is still a butt with a crack, so she does get the Mac category. Next up, we've got Horton. He's an elephant, so he doesn't have like a butt crack or anything, which actually makes sense. Elephants are pretty much the only mammal that actually don't, which is unfortunate because they're like the biggest mammal, so it would be awesome. So this is accurate. It is disappointing that they didn't at least like give him a crack for this scene. But I mean, just for the sheer size, he gets into the Mac category. Kind of same situation as Ellie, but I'd say his is honestly bigger and nicer to look at. Okay, next we have Hybrid from Fortnite. This is one of the characters that I'm definitely played a part in me realizing I was gay. He's freaking hot, let's just be honest. The problem with his butt, it's very nice. I mean, just look at it, it's beautiful. Is that it's a proportion issue. It's actually kind of small, smaller than it should be in comparison to the rest of his body. However, it's still so nice. He's definitely thick. So where in here would I put him? Probably about here. Okay. We got Judy from Zootopia. Obviously, in the furry fan base for female characters, she's possibly #1 fan favorite. I'm pretty gay. I don't have much attraction towards females or female characters. So that being said, in my opinion, she's okay. As for her butt, it's not really that big, honestly. It's debatable. I'm gonna put her in meh, but she's up there. She's close. Then we got Marcel from Alpha and Omega. This one's pretty underrated in the butt community, I think. I mean, it's pretty thick, and the way he swings it around is really hot. I'm gonna say he's thick. Honestly, I would consider dummy thick. He is up there. You know what? I'm gonna put him at the top of thick so far. Then we got Maximus, specifically his model from the Kingdom Hearts 3 game seen here. I mean, it's definitely something to behold. I feel like people who aren't even necessarily interested in butts, like, you can't ignore that. So it's pretty big. I'm not quite dummy thick though. It is in proportion for him being a horse. So I'm gonna put him up there. Okay. Nick Wilde. We got another flat. In fact, I'm gonna put him there. Under Bowser. Nick Wilde is another disappointment. I think he's a hot character overall, but when it comes to the booty department, he's got like nothing. Even in the animation demo and like that, the one time he wiggles his tail around, there's like nothing there. Oh boy, here we go. The Duck Duck Goose Pig. You know what? Dummy thick. Let's just do it. 100%. There's not much more to be said about this. I mean, everyone in this community loves it. It really is one of the best, and the whole fart scene is glorious. Dummy thick for sure. Okay, then we got Po from Kung Fu Panda, specifically in this one shot where he sits on Tai Lung. This is the only scene in any of the movies that you really get to see it well. And he's really thick. But like I said, it's kind of a glorious situation. Like, the rest of him is also big, so I'm just going to put him in thick. We have my favorite, the love of my life, RJ from Over the Hedge. He is my personal biggest crush ever. And he is pretty thick. Like, they gave him booty. And it's big in proportion to the rest of him. The one big disappointment is, you can see right here, his tail sticks out about like halfway down. So his crack only comes up to like here. If they raised his tail higher, then, you know, the butt would have been much better. But for what it is, it's pretty nice. It does jiggle. There are jiggle physics, you can see at a couple points. We don't see much of it in the movie, but he is thick. He's definitely thick. I just gotta figure out. Thicker than Hammy? Barely. I'll put him there. Actually, no, he's thicker than Hybrid. Then we got, so this is, this represents all ponies from season 4 of My Little Pony. It's pretty infamously known that they did give them cheeks in a crack, and they are pretty nice. So I am gonna say thick, but barely. They aren't that big or special. So I'll put them like there. Alright, next up, we have the flattest of the flat, the season 5 ponies. What a disappointment. I know I wasn't the only one when we first found out that their butts are completely flat. They did not animate any form of cheeks or a crack whatsoever. They're just completely flat. Incredibly disappointing. They are at the bottom. Alright, moving on from that, we got Spyro. He doesn't have much there. Spyro's another character I think is just kind of hot in general to me. But in the booty department, there's not much there. He doesn't have much thickness to these legs. So he's a meh. He's got something though. Better than Mama Hippo. I'll put him there. Okay. Next up, we've got Sven from Frozen. Actually, more specifically, Frozen 2. I don't think in the first one they gave him a butt quite like this. So in Frozen 2, as you can see, it's pretty nice actually. The problem is you don't see much of it, and it's kind of oddly shaped, a bit small in proportion to the rest of him. For that, he's just a meh. I'm gonna put him like here. And then we got Sylvia. I put her here because she's popular mostly because of I Heart Butts, how much he likes her, and how many butt clips of her he's made. Honestly, it's nothing that special. I know this is gonna make some people mad. This specific shot I chose of her sitting on these other characters makes it look big, but in most of the show it's really not that big. So I'm gonna have to put her in meh. Thicker than Spyro at least. I'll give her that. Okay. Thurston. I'm thirsting for Thurston. Yet another character where generally he's not like this, but in this one shot they like really oversized it, and it's definitely pleasing to the eyes. So in this one shot, Thurston is pretty freaking thick. He's definitely thick. It's just a question of where in here. I'm gonna just settle for that. Alright, then we've got Trouble Shoes. He is different from just any other season 4 pony because his butt is much bigger, and we get this one shot where he's like, tell it to the flank. He's thick. Almost dummy thick. He's actually pretty close to dummy thick, just not quite there. He's thicker than your average horse. That's for sure. I'm gonna put him at the top actually of thick. Next up, we got Vern from Over the Hedge. First off, he's supposed to be a turtle. Turtles, if you don't know, don't come out of their shell. They don't actually have butt cheeks like this. In other shots in the movie, you see he has a tail. So when his shell comes off, which it shouldn't, then suddenly he has like these cheeks. The inconsistency is annoying, but what we get is honestly beautiful. This shot right here is honestly, it's pretty hot. The 3D modelers did a great job. It's a nice butt to look at, is basically what I'm trying to say. You do see his butt a few times in other shots, and it's okay, but it's this one specific shot. I'm thinking about dummy thick. You know what? Yes. I mean, just look at the size of the butt compared to the rest of his body. It's honestly insane. So, honestly, I'm going to say he's dummy thick. Congratulations, Vern. Okay. Then we've got Yex from Zootopia. They kind of gave him cheeks. There's kind of a crack in the middle. This is Disney. Disney always wimps out in this aspect. DreamWorks always delivers. Disney, on the other hand, this is usually like the best you'll get from them. It's okay. He's almost thick. You know, I'm just gonna put him at the top of meh. He's almost thick. I think that's a good way to describe him. Then we got the classic Yoshi. Yoshi is the perfect example that a butt doesn't need to be like two cheeks with a crack down the middle to still be a nice butt to look at. It's just a nice rear end, you know. It's big. He's got this chub like on his legs. He's always showing it off. Nintendo always has Yoshi showing off his butt like this. He's close to dummy thick, honestly. Alright, if any of you were paying close attention, you may have noticed that I actually moved Giselle to the end. And I did that on purpose. In my opinion, I think that Giselle is the winner. I think she is the thickest animated character. The reason, first off, the cheeks are big, and it is mostly because of proportion. Her butt is insanely huge compared to her skinny, frail body. It's honestly ridiculous. I have done the final adjustments, and with that being said, this is the official tier list. My opinion of the thickest animated characters, from the least thick to the most thick. Here they are in order. Generation 5 Ponies: Nick Wilde, Bowser, Ellie, Horton, Mama Hippo, Spyro, Sven, Sylvia, Judy Hopps, Yax, Season 4 Ponies, Hammy, Chuck, Hybrid, RJ, Donkey from the ad, Elliot, Yoshi, the Geese, Thurston, Marcel, Maximus, Troubleshoes, Poe, Gloria, the pig from Duck Duck Goose, Boog, Vern, and number one thickest animated character of all time, in my opinion, Giselle from Open Season. Alright, so that's it. You guys feel free to make your own tier list of this. It is like publicly available. I'll put a link in the description in the comments.